Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another video. For those who are new, I'm Kieran and I'm in my final year studying law at the University of Cambridge. I'm aware it's been a while since I did my last video. I apologise. I just had lots on during term, so I decided just to focus on the work and the other things I had going on. But I'm back, and I thought I would do in this video would be to do just an end of term review, because Michaelmas 2020 is officially over. My first term of third year is officially over. Only 2 more terms left of my undergraduate degree. Yes, you heard correctly. A bit scary, I know. So I just thought I would just talk about how things have gone, give you a bit of an update, and just give you my thoughts and feelings about how the term has been, and how this unusual term has been. So starting off with the academic side of things, I'm doing 4 modules this year. I'm doing EU law and equity, which are the compulsory modules, so the ones I have to do for the qualifying law degree. But I'm also doing 2 optional modules. I'm doing human rights law and labour law. But I'm also doing public law dissertation. This is for the public law seminar. I'm doing it on the doctrine of legitimate expectations in UK administrative law. Very interesting, looking at the distinction between procedural and substantive legitimate expectations, and looking at the case of Finisher, which was a very high profile case of recent years. So very interesting looking at that. How has it been? It's been different, of course. We can't deny the fact that under these strange and unusual times in the pandemic, things have had to be different. We've had to adapt. So lectures have been online. So where I would have usually gone to the faculty and attended lectures at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, no, they're just posted online using Panopto, which is the system that the faculty has been using. So it's been different. You haven't had the same structures, the same routine. Whereas, if you had a lecture at 9 o'clock, right, I've got a lecture every Monday at 9 o'clock, so you would know when to get up and where you need to be at a particular time. Whereas with having them online, with having them being uploaded online, that structure is kind of gone in a way. So what I've had to do is try and devise my own structure, and just to make sure that I'm using the time that I've got available to go, right, I've got supervision next week, so I need to make sure that I've gone through the lectures for that particular supervision, that I've done the work, I've gone through the materials, I've answered the questions. If there's a piece of work that needs to be handed in, I've made sure to do that. So I've had to kind of devise my own structures and devise my own routines in order to compensate for this lack of structure, because of the need to adapt to these strange and unusual times. In terms of supervisions, they have been online. They were online in Easter 2020, when obviously the pandemic had just started back in March/April. And so I've been used to it already. It's been fine most of the time. Of course, sometimes the internet connection might go halfway through, and that obviously is a bit frustrating. But for the most part, the supervisions have been fine and they've been interesting. In terms of the course, it's been really interesting so far. I love human rights. I wanted to do human rights for second year, but the course wasn't available. So I was so glad when it was available now for third year, and I'm enjoying that. We're looking at things like the right to life, looking at human rights in the context of terrorism, even in the context of the pandemic as well, which has been quite interesting to look at. In labour law, we've been looking at things like unfair dismissal and wrongful dismissal, whether or not you're an employee or a worker or something else. Just very interesting looking at obviously the real life context of it, and obviously looking at Uber, for example, and whether or not Uber drivers are workers or employees, which is very interesting and very exciting to look at. And yeah, it's just been really good so far. I think my favourite probably has to be human rights so far. And the public law dissertation has been really good. So the way that's worked is we have an hour meeting with our supervisor for Michaelmas and an hour meeting with our supervisor in Lent as well. But where I did it is I broke it up into 2 half-an-hour slots with my supervisor. And so in the first meeting, we just discussed my ideas, discussed what I was thinking about the dissertation, any concerns I had, and she talked about through, some approaches I could think about, some ideas I could think about. And then in the second meeting, I had submitted a plan beforehand, and the supervisor looked over it, and she talked through it. She talked through kind of where I was going with it, what she thought of it, what things I could think about. And those meetings were definitely useful. And what I'll probably be doing over the holidays is starting to put my ideas together, put my research together, and start plan out in more detail, and maybe even start typing some of my dissertation up. But that's been really exciting. I do love public law, and I've been glad I've been able to do public law in first year through constitutional law, second year through administrative law, and now through dissertation and a little bit of human rights law as well. So the academic side of things has been different because of these times, but still exciting and still very much enjoying it. There's a lot to read when it comes to studying law. As has been the case, there's been a lot to read, a lot to study, but definitely find it interesting. That's definitely one of the motivations that's keeping me going, is the fact that I'm enjoying the course. In terms of the social side of things, of course, things are completely different. Because of course the pandemic, and therefore needing to also be social distance, but also particularly for me, because I decided, for those who haven't watched my previous video, I decided to study at home remotely. It was a decision at the time that I thought was best because I was a bit anxious, a bit nervous, so I thought what was best was just to stay at home and study remotely, which is what I've done. And I'm not going to deny, not being there with my friends, not being there in college, has been difficult, has been a challenge. But I've been able to catch up with some friends online via Zoom. So we've had Cooler, the Cambridge University Association. I've put on socials like spirited discussions and a quiz, which I attended, and they were fun. I've caught up with a couple of my friends from Homerton, like my good friends Hannah and Martha. We even had a couple of days ago, from the time I'm recording this, we watched a film together via Netflix. So that was quite fun as well. So I've been able to catch up. Of course, it's different and it's not the same. But I'm managing the best I can, obviously given the circumstances. I've also been doing other things during time. I'm still involved in the Cambridge Union, so I've been on the invitations committee, organising invites to send to speakers. So obviously I'm very much involved with that, getting prepared for that, and that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to what we're being able to put together for next term. I've also been doing some mooting, so I've been taking part in the DeSmuth mooting competition, organised by the Cambridge University Law Society DeSmuth subcommittee. For those who don't know, mooting is kind of like mock advocacy. It's an opportunity to practice advocacy skills. Those skills will be important if you're going to go into be a barrister or anything that would require those kind of important speaking and advocacy skills. So it's a good opportunity to do if you're at university and you're interested in it. Definitely, obviously, I would recommend having a try, even if you're not sure how it's going to go. Just have a go because it's an experience, it's an opportunity. So I've been taking part in that. I've also been judging moots as well, which has been brilliant. So I've been judging the brick court moots that the society does, and also the fledglings. Fledglings is kind of more for first timers. A brick court is more for those who are more experienced with mooting. It's a team moot. And that's been very exciting. I remember the first time I was nervous because it's like, what do I do? And obviously you've got to be organised. You've got to read through the materials, the skeleton arguments, and the bundles provided by the mooters. You've got to obviously have questions ready. You've got to be, during the moot itself, you've got to be making notes about how the individual's doing, but also about the law, and then asking them questions, intervening on them to ask them questions. And I was nervous, I was shaking the first time, but once I got into it, and once I've done it a couple of times, I was very much getting used to it and enjoying it, and that's been really good. I've definitely been enjoying that. I'm looking forward to doing more judging going forward. So I've been doing mooting, I've been doing Cambridge Union. I've also just been thinking about career options as well, because of course, after my undergraduate degree, I'm thinking about going into the bar. So the next stage would be bar school, and then obviously after that is trying to seek a pupillage. So I've applied for a scholarship from Gray's Inn. So that application form has been sent. It won't be until next year until I find out whether or not I've succeeded in terms of getting the interview, which is the next stage. So fingers crossed for that. But I've also been thinking about applying to bar schools. I'm thinking about BPP, I'm thinking about ICA as well, and the University of Law. So there's a lot to think about, and obviously getting busier, and sometimes it's been a bit stressful because there's been a lot going on. Like I said, I've decided to just focus on my work and on my other priorities. So I hope you'll forgive me that there hasn't been YouTube videos on my channel, but those are just the kind of things that I've been getting up to. Overall, of course, things have been different, things have been strange, but I think I've adapted to it the best that I can. There are tough days, there are those difficult days, but compared to where I was before term started, I'm in a better frame of mind. Not perfect, but in a better frame of mind, because at the end of the day, life goes on, and we have to just make do with the best situation that we're in. and just doing what we can, and just being there for each other, being positive, being optimistic. Obviously, there's been some good news recently in terms of vaccines, but just being patient and being positive and just carrying on with what we can do. In terms of next term, I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to be studying remotely again. I'm inclined to go back in Lent, but I haven't decided yet. It'll just depend how I'm feeling closer to the time, but I will keep you posted when I've made my decision on that. I'm going to try and do some more videos now. I really want to get back into it because I do enjoy doing this channel. I do love doing it. So just watch the space, see what comes up. If you've got any suggestions, do put them in the comment section below. If you want to know something about the law, I'm happy to do videos about the law. I did a video for the StudyTube project, which you can check in the description below by clicking on the link. I did a video about the English legal system and the court hierarchy, so do check that out. But if you want me to do more of that on my channel, do put it in the comment section below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Do stay safe, do follow the rules and stay positive. Life goes on, let's live on. I hope to see you all in the next video.